Hi folks, if you're a returning viewer, welcome back to the channel, and if you're new, my name's Lindsay and I want to share my passion for fly fishing with you. So what we're going to do today is look at a fully functional rotary vise for under £100. So without further ado, let's get into it. Now, a fully functional rotary vise is not generally very cheap, and you're looking at anywhere between £150 all the way up to the law vices, which we all know are absolutely ridiculous nowadays. So starting off with a fully functional rotary vise is probably a good idea if you're new to fly tying. There's lots of very cheap vices that you can buy, but I would always say buy the best quality you can afford, especially if you know you're going to stick with the hobby and it will see you out for the rest of your days if you buy a really good quality one. Now, for £100, I wasn't expecting very much, I've got to say, I've got to be honest. This has been sent to me by Riverruns, and let's have a look inside the box and see what we've got. Well, let me show you the box actually before we get going on having a look at the vise itself. It comes in a very smart hard case, which is, it looks ideal for transporting the vise. And I have here the champagne one. Now, it does come in red and green, just depends on what colour you want, I suppose. So let's have a look inside. Now, it comes with a couple of Allen keys that I've got here for assembling the vise, and it's a pedestal style vise. I'll just move that out the way, and this is the pedestal here. It's made of, I think it's probably aluminium if I'm honest. It feels very light. For a pedestal vise, I don't think that's ideal, but I suppose it's construction price that's going to determine what they use as materials for the base of the vise. It's not dead light, but it is a lot lighter than other pedestal vices that I've owned in the past. It comes with various holes here, and alongside the holes there are Allen key parts where you can tighten up and locate the vise by the looks of things. Now, I'm going to set it up as I would normally. So first thing I'm going to do is put the bedding sprocket into the vise. Now, it simply fits in there like so, and if I just take one of these Allen keys out, I'm sure it'll be the bigger of the two. I can get that into position and then simply use the Allen key to tighten it up, and that is locked into place. Now, that seems fairly steady to me as it is so far. The next thing then is the vise itself. What I would say is it looks really good. It certainly looks the part for a full rotary vise, and I think you adjust the tension knob with this little screw at the bottom here, and I can either have it tight or have it loose. It seems quite smooth. I'm fairly surprised at that. It's very smooth and functional. I like the fact that the handle here for fully rotating the vise moves, so you don't have to. It does move with the vise, which I really like. So that's one good point. Now, this bit here, I dare say, is for a thread holder arm that also comes with the vise. So let's seat it into its sprocket. And what it is, there's no Allen key for the knob. It simply twists to lock it into position. And that seems okay. Now, before I go any further, the first thing I would say here is for my tying needs, I think this vise is sitting a little bit low. I would need to increase the length of the shaft somehow, probably using a drill extension. But for some people it might be perfectly fine. Now, I'm just going to pop my glasses on so that I can have a look. Yep, that's probably a little bit, just adjust that slightly. Yeah, the rotaries is quite nice. Before we go any further, one of the things I've noticed already is now I've tightened the knob as much as I can, and I'm still seemingly got a little bit of play in the stem here, and the vice is moving, not on the pedestal, so that's not so good. There must be a way of tightening it up further. Now, pedestal vices that I've used in the past, this locking nut has come with an Allen key attachment as well, so you can crank it right up, which would stop the shaft from moving, but we don't have this on this vice. It's simply a turn knob, it's plastic, and you turn it to tighten up. But I might be weak, well, I know I'm weak, but even if I turn that as hard as I can, I'm still getting a little bit of play in that shaft. Now, what a better idea would have been for this vice, I think, is if they cut a groove in at the bottom here to get a flat edge, and you screwed up to the flat edge, which would have held the vice rigidly. Just a small thing, but if you tie a lot of flies, movement in the shaft will get on your nerves, so you need to watch out for that. I'm sure there's an easy fix. Now, the base itself, it seems very well designed. There's various slots which you can put beads or hooks in, and you can position the vice in various different ways. So you don't have to have it as I've got it here with the base underneath the vice jaws. You can have it out to the side, and you can have it in either of these three holes. But I've chosen to set it up the way I normally set up my pedestal vices. So let's have a look at the jaws. Now, I've already adjusted the angles and stuff, and what I'll do now is just add in the thread keeper. So I take it that goes in through here. Now, I'm not a big fan of these things. I find that they're more of a hindrance than a help to me, but it depends on your tying style, you know. It's nice that they've got it as an addition, but it's just not my kind of thing, I've got to be honest. It would get in my nerves, but you don't have to have it in. In fact, I'm going to take it out. Now you've seen it, I'll take it out so I can carry on with the rest of the review. Now, it's a fairly simple lever action to lock the vice, and it claims to be able to hold hooks between size 4 and size 26. Now, I don't have the extremes of hooks to try in the vice for that. So what I'm going to do is I've got a size 10 here. I probably do have bigger hooks elsewhere, and I'm going to clamp that in. Now, I've obviously not secured something, and I think it's this one here, tight enough when I've been adjusting it. So I'm just going to come in and adjust that a little more. I'll crank that up. I've cranked that up. Is it holding it tightly into place? Well, certainly well enough to tie with. Now, I'm going to rattle a few flies off on this and see how it is, but actually, as I sort of ping the hook, it seems to be held in there quite securely. Now, just to show you the full rotary, it does go round. It's not too bad. But as I'm doing this, I don't know how well you'll be able to see, but I am getting movement in that shaft. That needs to be addressed pretty fast, I would think, before I would be using this vice for any amount of time. Guys, if you're enjoying the videos and you're getting some value from them, please consider subscribing to the channel. It does signal to YouTube that you're enjoying the content, which encourages me to make more videos. And while you're down there tickling the subscribe button, please don't forget to leave this video a like. Next, I'm going to try it with a size 20 hook. This is the Hanak H150. It's their new sort of dry nymph hook. I've been really enjoying tying on these. They've got, again, it seems to have locked that into place very well. So the jaws to the vice seem really good. They're holding the hooks where they should do, and it's a great feature. And I think for speed of tying, the old lever action, I've used these in the past quite a bit, and I do like them. It is quick. And once you've brought that up, let's put the bigger hook back in. I just need to ease that open slightly. And then I can clamp it down. And yeah, it is fairly solid. So it looks the part. It certainly looks the part, and I like the adjustment to the tension. Seems really nice. But for $100, you've got to expect that there's going to be some shortcomings with the vise, and there's certainly, I wouldn't say showstoppers in here, and for the money, it's actually a very good value product. But there was things I would have to do before I used it in the longer term. In conclusion then, the vise itself is actually a very decent product. Now the disappointing thing is that they've just skimped on a couple of details that would have made this an absolutely amazing purchase. Now, is it a showstopper? Absolutely not. I would get some bits and bobs that would make this vise very suitable for my use. So the first thing I would say is I would definitely get an extension to the shaft. The vise is sitting far too low for me. The other thing, of course, is the extension may sort this out, but the movement in the shaft is unacceptable. I couldn't tie on this for any amount of time without getting really annoyed with it. And the last thing I would say, which might be not so easily solved, is the weight of the pedestal base. Now it would be nice if, and I know we're already getting a lot for our money with a full rotary vise, but if it had come with a function to clamp to the table and you wouldn't get any movement on the shaft that way. But I do like a pedestal vise. I like to move my vise around the table a bit, so that wouldn't be for me. But it's so very nearly a fantastic, great product. They've got everything right at the business end. The tension's really good. It's just little bits of detail. Like I say, the movement in the shaft, the height of the shaft. A lot of the other vices I've owned in the past, to be fair, much more expensive than what we're looking at here, but they've come with an extension arm on the shaft to bring it up to, I mean, I like my vise to sit around chin level. It's probably because my eyes are really old, but it's such a shame. So I would give it probably 3 stars out of 5. Is it worth getting? If I was starting out and budgetary was a concern to me, I would certainly consider this. I mean, a full rotary vise just as you're getting started is amazing for under 100 quid. So yep, I would definitely consider it. If you're starting out on your fly tying journey, this would do you indefinitely with a couple of adjustments, but you would have to do that yourself, and you would have the extra expense of buying a drill bit extension or whatever you want to do to increase the height of the shaft. But other than that, it's a really good vise, and it's just such a shame that the small details have let it down. If you would like to get a hold of one of these vices, I'll leave an Amazon affiliate link in the description below. All it means is you don't pay any more for the vise than you would normally, but I'll get a few pennies towards helping keeping the YouTube channel afloat. Well, there we go, folks. There's a rotary vise for under £100. Now, it does have some shortfalls, as you would expect for a vise at this price point. But if you're just starting out and budget is high in your agenda, then this is something to be considered. There's various ways to fix the little shortfalls, and it would be an excellent vise for a beginner. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.